Everyone, welcome back to the podcast.
Yes, so good to be here. What are we diving into today?
Well, I was thinking we could talk about.
Oh, that's a great topic.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about India's audio scene. It's not just changing, right? It feels like a seismic shift, especially when you look at Hindi podcasts. I mean, it's exploding. And today we're kind of unpacking the surprising forces behind it all, the who, what, how,
and the scale.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty staggering, actually.
Yeah.
What jumps out right away are the numbers. We're looking at a market valued over $840 million just this year.
840 million? Wow.
And projected to hit nearly $9.3 billion by 2033. That's a compound annual growth rate over 28%.
28% CAGR. That's huge. Okay, so for this deep dive, we really want to, get to the core of it. Try and pull out the most important nuggets from your sources, really understand this boom and what it actually means for you listening. And it's interesting, this isn't exactly brand new, is it? India was already, the third largest podcast market back in 2020?
That's right, globally. Monthly users jumped from around 58 million to 95 million by 2021.
95 million. So what's really pouring fuel on this fire? What are the main drivers?
Well, the fundamentals are key. You've got widespread smartphone use, obviously, and better internet access, especially, and this is important, in rural India. The internet user growth there is actually twice as fast as in urban areas.
Double. Okay, that's significant.
Yeah, but it's also becoming more professionalized. You see big institutions getting involved, like the Reserve Bank of India is apparently planning podcasts for financial literacy. And big companies, think TCS or Reliance, they're using podcasts now for internal training, sure, but also external branding. That adds a layer of credibility.
Right. It's becoming mainstream, legitimized. So who are these 95 million plus listeners? Who's actually tuning in? My sources are really highlighting Gen Z. It says here 71% listen weekly, often on Spotify.
That aligns with what I'm seeing. Gen Z is a huge driver. Spotify definitely saw a big jump, like 11% in their Gen Z usage in just 2 years. And crucially, they're not just listening for fun. They're looking for deep introspection or learning. They want tangible value.
Tangible value. So it's more than just entertainment. It's about self-improvement, learning skills.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It taps into this aspiration. And that ties into language, too. Indic languages are massive online. You've got something like 870 million internet users who are consuming content in Indic languages. And even in cities, over half, about 57%, prefer local language content.
870 million, that's incredible. How is tech helping bridge that gap, getting content to those users in their languages?
AI is the game changer there. Seriously, AI tools are making translation, dubbing, even aspects of production in regional languages so much easier, so much faster. And that's led directly to this huge, 40% jump in regional podcast listening.
40% boost just from that tech enablement. Wow, it's democratizing things.
Totally opening up access to stories, knowledge. It's a big shift.
So, okay, we know who's listening and why. What are they actually listening to? What content is really hitting home? Sighting culture seems like the big umbrella category, right? That 35% market share. But it sounds like it's breaking down into really specific niches, like self-help, the Ranveer show comes up a lot, spirituality, maybe Osho Hindi, finance, like Sunna Sach.
Precisely. Those specific sort of purpose-driven shows are thriving. Self-improvement, practical advice, spiritual exploration. And you mentioned edutainment. That's apparently the fastest growing area.
Really? What falls under that?
Oh, everything. Exam preparation, tech topics. I even saw mentions of Web 3.0 concepts being covered. Decentralized web,
Huh, interesting. So very practical learning mixed with cutting edge stuff.
Exactly. And alongside that, you've got this really cool revival of traditional storytelling. Narrative podcasts like Indian Noir or Ekasinati. They use immersive sound, 3D audio sometimes. It's like the modern version of oral tradition, telling these epic stories, but for your earbuds.
That sounds amazing. But across all these different types of shows, one format really stands out in the data, doesn't it? Interviews, something like 40% market share. Why are interviews so dominant?
Yeah, 40% is huge. I think it comes back to that tangible value point and maybe aspiration. Listeners want to learn directly from people they admire, experts, successful figures, get those direct insights, hear their stories, their advice.
Which brings up an interesting point, authenticity, if listeners want that direct connection.
Right. It's crucial. Podcasters like Raj Shamani, for instance, have built their whole brand on being raw and unfiltered. But then you get incidents like, remember that Anupam Kher thing where advice about humility was supposedly edited out?
Oh yeah, I heard of that.
That kind of thing, whether it's true or just perceived, highlights this tension. The tension between a polished professional production and the audience's expectation of just realness. If that trust gets broken, it's hard to get back.
That's a really fine line to walk. So speaking of production, how does AI fit back in here? You mentioned it for translation, but what about production itself? Does it help maintain authenticity or does it risk making things too polished?
It's kind of a paradox, isn't it? But mostly it's empowering. AI tools can massively speed up the tedious stuff, scripting help, editing, improving audio quality. We're talking maybe 30% time savings. So independent creators can suddenly produce something that sounds really professional, competing with bigger studios without needing a huge budget. It levels the playing field, lets more authentic voices get heard with good quality.
Okay, so putting it all together, this Hindi podcast explosion isn't just a fleeting trend. It really feels like a deeper cultural shift, powered by tech and changing listener needs.
Absolutely. If you zoom out, success in this space seems to boil down to really getting what the listener wants. Tapping into those aspirations, that desire for growth, the Indian dream maybe, but delivering it authentically. And using the text smartly, not letting it overshadow the core message.
Finding your genuine voice in a market that's clearly booming and values that real connection. So, thinking about everything we've just discussed, what's the one thing that really stands out to you listening? Maybe it's how technology isn't just connecting people, but actually enabling whole new ways for culture and learning to evolve in India. Definitely something to think about until our next deep dive.